I actually think when you decide to move to Italy that there are 4 key decisions that you can make to have a better experience here in Italy. These are decisions that I've kind of learnt over the course of the 6 years that I have been living here, but they are definitely decisions that can give you a much better and almost healthier experience here. So let's get into the video, shall we? The first decision is essentially to decide to accept life here for what it is. Now, I've spoken about this in other videos, but acceptance is the one thing that will make your life here in South Italy that little bit easier. There are so many things that don't work properly here in South Italy, are not organised properly, very chaotic and frustrating. But essentially, if you constantly live in this kind of comparison state where you're looking at how things were done in your country or the country that you've come from previously, and you're kind of comparing them and talking about them and complaining, you end up making yourself feel very, very bitter and unhappy. And this is not a good combination for wanting to remain in a country. So I think if you're really sure that South Italy especially is the place that you want to live, you have to accept South Italy for what it is. It's not a perfect part of Italy. In fact, I really don't think there is a perfect part of Italy, but it is what it is. It's real, rugged and raw, as I say in so many of my videos. So if you choose to accept life for what it really is here, I truly believe that you will have a much better and healthier experience, and it will just help you to adjust better to your new life in South Italy, more so than if you are constantly complaining or moaning or just comparing your life to the one that you're used to. The second decision is that you need to decide that your story is your own. Now, I get it. When you decide that you want to move to Italy, the first thing you normally do is look online, read about other people's experiences, go into some expat groups, ask some questions. But you've got to be really careful with this, and I even say this as a bit of a disclaimer on my own channel. My videos are my experiences, but they are not necessarily going to be yours for both good and bad reasons. And so you have to take everything that you read about, hear about and listen to with a pinch of salt. Because essentially one person can have a really, really, really terrible experience, but another person can be just fine. And I've had this a lot. Like, so many people told me what a nightmare the bureaucracy would be here in Italy. Now, apart from moving to Palermo, which was probably my first real bureaucratic hurdle, trying to get my residency registered, prior to that, I had no problems, and I was living here for 4 years. I've always been able to sort out my bureaucracy with no problems. And so my journey and my experience was very different to what a lot of other people have had. And so this is what I'm trying to say. Don't get caught up in the stories of other people and their experiences. Your journey and your path is your own. And it's the same for when you're living here. Like, the way that you choose to live your life here is your decision. You are not on the same path as everybody else. We need to lose this whole comparison mindset. It's so easy to do with social media and the internet, to look at what other people are doing, what they're achieving, how they're living their life, and kind of make it mean that we're inferior in some way because our life looks different to theirs. But it's just simply not true. We all have our own purpose in life, our own reasons, rationale, motives, path that we are on. And so we need to just embrace that. And we need to remember that no two people's experiences are ever going to be the same. And so that is a decision you need to commit to. Remember, your story is not the same as everybody else's. The third decision you can make for a better life in South Italy is to commit to being a lifelong learner. Now, I do feel that a lot of people arrive in Italy and they feel that they've reached their destination. You know, the journey was the preparation and the planning and, you know, putting everything together to make it possible, and then once they're here, they've arrived. But I always say your journey has only just begun once you actually arrive here in Italy. You will constantly be learning, either about the culture, customs, bureaucracy, the way of life, whatever it may be. You have only just begun the journey of learning once you arrive here in Italy. And it's actually a really beautiful thing, because a lot of learning that you go through is about yourself. Like, you learn so much about yourself when you live in another country. You kind of expose yourself, your feelings, your approach to life in a way that you don't necessarily do when you're in familiar surroundings with people that you know. Being outside of your comfort zone shows you a different version of yourself and of who you really are and of what matters to you. And so it's this that you constantly continue to learn about, and maybe you even decide to make some radical changes to who you are as a person as a result. But this is the whole growth moment that you go through when you live in another country and when you live here in Italy. And so embrace this, commit to being a lifelong learner. It's a really beautiful thing. We don't know everything, and we are not meant to know everything. We are meant to continue learning and evolving and growing. And I think that's how we become better people as a result. The fourth decision that I think you can make for a better life here in South Italy is to actually live life like a local. Now, I'm not saying that you have to kind of lose yourself in the process, far from it, but I think we can learn a lot from those around us, and from the way that local people live here in South Italy. It can teach us things, maybe techniques, cooking tips, cleaning tips, something simple as this. We can learn by observing those people around us. I certainly embrace now differences that I have in my routine and the way that I do things in the house compared to what I did in the UK, because I'm doing things like the locals. You know, now in the afternoons where I can, I'll have a little bit of a nap, something that never happened in the UK. But I'm living a bit more like a local person. Not everybody does this, but you know, on certain hot days and on Sundays especially, it's a common thing. I'm kind of embracing like meal times and the way that food is appreciated and served and all the little customs that go into that. In fact, watch this video up here if you want to learn more about Italian etiquette when it comes to eating. But essentially, I'm doing it like a local. And it's this, I think, when you observe what the locals do and the way that they live their life and the little habits and routines that they have, I think we actually tap into the heart and soul of what Italy is about. And I love that. Like, I love to learn, and this ties into the third decision, which is to be a lifelong learner. But I also love to adapt and to kind of adjust my way of life to really feel more settled here in Italy. And so I think, you know, doing it like the locals is actually a really beautiful thing. Not feeling like you have to live exactly as you did back in your country, but being open to change, being open to doing things a little differently and really embracing what life is like here in South Italy, because it's not easy. But I do think that if you can make these mindset shifts, if you can make these decisions, you are definitely going to have a much better experience. I'll see you in the next video.